Ja, läuft schon drauf.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm fine.
You fine? That's good.
And you?
Thirsty.
Okay, now can you tell about your new CD?
Yeah, it's EP. It's extended play, obviously, right? Everyone knows what that stands for. Do they anymore? I don't know. But it's for the first record. It's called Grey Maiden EP. Now, Grey Maiden has a new song that we wrote called Grey Maiden. Then it has Tale of Twins from our demo era. It's a re-recording for this EP with the current lineup. Then we have Moss, which is an acoustic song featuring a violin player from Alberta as well. And then we have a cover of Tredegar from their soul album from the 80s, the song Richard III. So.
Okay, what was the reason doing this cover?
I think the reason doing the cover was like we had a list of new wave British heavy metal songs that we liked, and we're like, which one do we want? And we had a fight.
Yeah.
And who was strongest of you?
He's the tallest.
I'm the tallest, yeah. The tallest not always the strongest.
Yeah.
But the reason we picked we decided to do a cover at all is because Bart Gabriel from Skull Records approached us and asked if we would do a song for a compilation of new wave British heavy metal songs. And that compilation is called Grand Breton Invasion. It came out, I believe, about May of last year, or maybe early summer or so. And so we said, well, since we're going to go to the studio to record this new song, why don't we record a bunch more songs? And so that's where the EP came from. Basically, we took all the material that we had that we were sort of working on at that time, and went in and recorded all of it. So, yeah.
Okay, and how is the tour so far?
Really good. Like every place has been great. Like the first day at Rocking Bull in Antwerp was amazing. The second day in Oldenburg was amazing. The day after that in Hamburg was amazing. The day in Kassel was amazing. The day in Poznan, Poland was amazing. And the day in Warsaw was amazing. So I imagine tonight, which is, I've established the whole thing now, which is where we are, will be amazing. So.
And where were the greatest fans?
Oh, it has to be Hamburg because there were so many.
Yeah.
There were so many people.
Hamburg was a very special gig for us at the festival at Helleber Hamburg. We were playing in the small stage, but it was so big that lots of people couldn't even get in to see us. So it was so packed. The audience is huge. So that was a really special time for us. We got to play to probably one of our most intense crowds ever. And we also had a lot of fun last night in Warsaw. It was a very, very small club, but the crowd was extremely energetic, and so that was very special as well.
Okay, and what do you prefer, the festivals or the small clubs?
That's a good question. The festivals are fun because they're big and they have a nice stage and the lights and everything, and there's always lots of other cool bands. But I like the energy of the small clubs a little bit. Sometimes with the festivals, it's very rushed because the band finishes and you get your stuff on the stage as quickly as possible, and then you jump into it right away. Sometimes you're not using your own equipment, you're using whatever the festival provides you. And when we play the club shows, we often get to kind of stretch out a little bit, get a bit more comfortable with the sound, and I also just like the packed-in energy of it all.
Yeah, I mean, coming from more like I'm a pretty underground guy myself, so like small club is what I'm used to. I love playing big places though. I just need better gear, all my favorite bands have all this stuff together where like they're ready to push a lot of air in the halls, but like as Jeff said, in the situations in which we're playing bigger stages, we got to get on and off pretty fast. So if we had the day where we had our own gear racks to bring and all this cool stuff, playing a big stage would be a huge blast. Hopefully we can come to that. But right now, small clubs, it's like, yeah, there's a lot more energy I can feel coming off the stage with the small club. But not to say that Hamburg wasn't full of fucking energy. So
It was a very special time, for sure.
Now, how did you, as a band from Vancouver, get to the label Cruz del Sur?
We go back with them a long ways, like as both listeners, fans, and people that just talk to Enrico. Because I even talked to him before I was on his label when I was doing my old band Borrowed Time, And 10 years before that, I was following his label when it first started, and he had Slaufag and Crescent Shield, especially, bands like that. So I'm pretty sure that's how Jeff found out about them too, like Pharaoh, Crescent Shield.
Yeah, yeah. Just I've been a fan of their work as a label and the bands they've released for some time myself as well. And when it came time for us to release our album, we were putting the demos together, the rough mixes and everything, and we had just a short list of labels that we thought would be appropriate. And we emailed them all, and Cruz del Sur got back to us right away. We were very interested, and after some discussion and some talking, we came to an agreement that we were all very happy with, and it's been very good ever since. So, yeah.
Okay, you stay with them.
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay.
I like to think that our relationship will go for a long time. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell about the metal scene in Vancouver?
Yeah, Vancouver's interesting because it's a pretty it's a large area. Like there's like about 3 million people in there, and so you find that when you have places so spread out like that, the metal scene is kind of in sections,
Okay.
almost, right? And so you have, there's a section of that it's all stoner bands, then there's lots of black metal bands, and then there's kind of traditional speed metal bands, and they don't always talk to each other, and so you have these little pockets of bands. But there are some really awesome, talented groups. We really like Unleash the Archers. We really like Ancients as well, and Black Wizard are some really good bands from Vancouver. Spell are very good as well. Who are some of the other bands? We play with a band called Road Rash quite often. They're a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, those boys, they're crazy.
They are crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Rebel Priest is another band that's related to them that I don't think we've mentioned in interviews.
I don't think so. No, yeah, we played with Rebel Priest.
Rebel Priest is a band that's like Road Rash related that has like the lead guitar player Benny, he's in that. But we kind of like hobnob with everybody in the area. But what's really funny is Jeff mentioning the scene being kind of cliquey, being kind of like bands are separate. But what's really funny is whenever I go to any parties where the black metal people are, I always play heavy metal and they love it. They just need to start coming to the heavy metal shows. That's the thing.
A lot of it's also location as well, because since these areas are so spread out, it can be quite time consuming and expensive for people to travel from different areas. And so a lot of these people don't even go to see shows because they don't even they're too far away, or their friend circle is so separated from what's happening that they don't even hear about the shows sometimes too. So so it can be a little challenging to get people to come to shows in Vancouver because there's just so much going on that people don't even hear about it sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of things go on the same night. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually quite rich in metal music. There's a lot of metal bands out there, a lot of good venues and stuff.
Yeah, you're not starved as a metal fan in Vancouver. You feel pretty good. Like there's just bands everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
And do you sometimes do like festivals of Vancouver bands?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a really cool one up in not northern BC, mid BC. Armstrong is that like?
Yeah. It's interior.
Interior BC. He's a better Canadian than I am.
Yeah, we played a festival called Armstrong, BC. Very, very cool. It's kind of small, but I think it's about 500-600 people, which is pretty good for Canadian standards, actually, because the Canadian population is so spread out, right? So, but Armstrong is a lot of fun. It's in a very small town. We're playing a festival this year when we get back from Europe called Hyperspace, and that's in Vancouver, and that's it's all traditional heavy metal, power metal bands, speed metal bands, and things like that. And so we're looking forward to that one as well. So.
Yeah, I mean the Armstrong Fest is interesting because it's in this town in British Columbia where everyone's wearing cowboy hats, even though it's Canada.
Yeah.
And
Canada loves cowboys.
Yeah, they got like cowboy stores and stuff there. And what's really cool is the fest is actually a lot like Keep It True. It's like if Keep It True did technical death metal. This is what Keep It True would be like.
Yeah.
But they have some heavy metal obviously because they have us and it's fun.
Yeah, it's a very big mix of bands. Yeah.
And what are your plans for the future?
Album 2?
Album number 2.
Yeah,
That's the big one. Yeah. When we get back from Europe. We only have a couple shows booked. We have some the festivals in British Columbia, maybe 1 or 2 club shows, but otherwise it's basically just getting into the second album and working on that. We have a bunch of songs demoed. I think we have about 5 or 6 songs demoed. A lot of ideas written out, and so now it's just a matter of getting it together.
He's gonna beat me. That's what the hand motion was for. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna get it after this.
Vorbildern.
Vergessen was anderes. And what are the bands you like, you would love to be on tour with?
Oh, it's funny. Our manager has asked us this a couple times now. A band that's around our age group that I really like is Seven Sisters from London. I like them quite a bit. We also met up with our label mates in Booze Control as well. Those guys are really cool. They're a lot of fun.
They're an underrated band that's getting a lot of bullshit for their name, and I think that's stupid. I'm going on record in this interview saying that Booze Control is a cool name, even though I just said it wrong. I'm going to say it again. Booze Control is a cool name, and they're a cool band, okay?
Yeah,
so
cool.
I really enjoyed that record. It reminds me of like Angel Dust, To Dust You Will Decay, or Scanner, not Hypertrace, but the second one.
The Terminal Earth?
Terminal Earth, yeah, by
Yeah,
Scanner.
yeah.
That's the one it reminds me of. Yeah, so it's like, they sound like old melodic German metal. You can sing the chorus, and there's not a lot of new German bands that are doing it that way necessarily. More power metal than them. They're more like meat and potatoes, and I like that. You know?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of funny too that we mentioned a band from Vancouver earlier called Spell, who are also very good, and they toured Europe last year. I think they might have even played here last year. I'm not sure.
They played a lot of the same places as us
That's
in the
right.
story. Yeah.
They're very good, and even though we're very very close friends with them, they're some of my best friends, and we've never played a show together, which is really weird. We were in the same city, and we have the same friends, and we never played a show together, so I mean, that might be cool to tour with them.
I
as
guess
well.
that is weird because we've played with them. You played with the guys in Spell in a Candlemass tribute.
Yeah.
I played with the guys in Spell in like a prog rock side project. And I did backing vocals on the one Spell record, but Gatekeeper and Spell have never done a show together.
Yeah, it's funny. How
I just realized that now.
Yeah, we've never done it. It's never happened. But.
It feels like it has,
But
but
we love those guys, and I think it'd be cool to do. I mean, why stop at one, right?
yeah. I mean, that's just it. Like, we had some questions in Poland about like, oh, you're trying to make metal the thing again. You're trying to make everyone play. It's more like we just want to play music with everybody. We're not like, you know, so limited in our thinking, but at the same time, Gatekeeper heavy metal is gatekeep your pure, true heavy metal. So it's gonna keep going like that.
Okay, and what are your influences? Bands?
Where do you start?
Jeez, yeah. Like, I mean, for playing this kind of music, my influences are Sabotage, early Virgin Steel, Priest, Maiden, obviously. You know, some more obscure stuff. Some like, I mean, if I'm gonna go outside the metal genre, I really love Kate Bush. I really love progressive rock like Peter Hamill and Marillion, and I listen to lots of stuff like that. Yeah.
For when I write a lot of the riffs and the song ideas, a lot of my influence comes from bands like Bathory and Solstice and 80s Manowar as well, big influence. But these days too, there's a lot of other kinds of stuff I listen to. I listen to lots of jazz as well, prog rock, so a lot of Mahavishnu Orchestra and Larry Coryell and things like that too. So trying to kind of go outside the box to try and bring new ideas in for metal songs.
And it's been good for our listening as friends too, because he comes from the more complicated jazz prog perspective and plays me things I haven't heard, and I like more theatrical, simple song kind of progressive rock. So we're always playing each other new things, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
And the one and only band for you, your absolute favorite band?
Ooh.
Priest.
Priest? Nice. That's a tough one. I might have to go with Queen.
Yeah, we'd probably swap those choices out if you asked us another time, but it'd be the same two bands. Yeah.
Yeah. Might be Queen. Yeah. I think. I'm sticking with Queen.
Okay. I'll stick with Priest. It's two really great bands.
You've seen the movie?
I have, yes.
And
yeah.
did you like it?
I did like it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, it's when you're talking about a band and an artist that people hold very close to their hearts. You're not going to please everyone, and you're not going to get everything perfect either. But I had a lot of fun watching the movie. I really enjoyed it, and I thought the actors did a tremendous job. So.
And that's just the thing. Like the negative criticisms I'm hearing of that movie is that it's a commercial for the band, but it's like the songs are already successfal. It's like it's just for people to find out about the band, like just information, you know, about who they were. And it's like to people that are being negative about it, they're just missing the point that it's a movie literally for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be for everyone, you know, like
Yeah.
some people that just don't know who Queen is, you know, like they
Yeah.
learn from that. Yeah.
Yeah, because there will come a time when, you know, 10, 20, 30 years from now, when, you know, the rest of Queen is no longer with us, of course, and, you know, maybe the music isn't as on the radio as often, but, you know, you want to make sure that people know about these bands still, and understand, know about the history and everything.
Yeah, it's a part of a greater archive.
Exactly, yeah. And so I think when you introduce like a film or a movie kind of a project, you're bringing it to a whole new crowd of people, and I think it's really cool.
And it's meant to play in India, obviously. It's meant to play in just all over the world, and people like just will be able to understand it no matter what. Doesn't matter like the language.
It's a great story too.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great story. So.
But yeah, that's us going to bat for the Queen movie.
Yeah. I like it.
Oh, Sanhedrin's setting up. They're fucking great.
Yeah, Sanhedrin are awesome. We're very happy to be on the road with them. Yeah.